What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. This is ISG to come to you from Glory Shadfield. As always, it is Tuesday. Not a typical stream because I wasn't here yesterday. Unfortunately, had some issues and had to run to the hospital last night. And yeah, it just made for a bummer of a night. But I am here tonight. So yeah, we're looking to do, again, I really do need a schedule of some sort or just some sort of plan. So, because I mean, I've been sitting here trying to figure out, am I going to download something else? I'm going to try something else game wise. I just don't know because I don't have a plan. So that'll be something that I need to work on sooner than later. The only real set schedule is, at least for now, is Fall Guys on Saturday mornings. I do stream or try to stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, about 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern start. But yeah, I need a bit more structure. I am looking to get a sim driving like rig and setup going. I do want to get back into some Gran Turismo, so that'll be something scheduled, so I'm gonna look forward to. Otherwise, I'm just kind of poking around and not knowing what to do. Anyway, I've landed on Super Stardust Ultra tonight. It is one of my favorite arcade style games. So here we are. Here we are. If you haven't seen it, this is what it is.
Get ready.
So I don't recall the last what I ended up making it to as far as ranking, world ranking. It was one something. I want to say 140. Anyway, we will see at the end of this just where I stand as far as ranking. Although it is possible that that the stream will end without this round finishing, just depending on how well things go. But I am yeah, feeling a little off. So my I have a feeling that my personal best will remain. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. You never know. You have some. You end up hearing these alarms or like dings that will be Forex trading, oh, of course, some Forex trading in the background, or a trade pending. I'll have to get that set up. Entered. We'll see how that. There we go. Oh, these poor little snake things. They get real quick and nasty in the later rounds. Way too nasty. But yeah, the racing rig, all that should be coming, but what I need to do first is break out my DIY construction skills. Get my YouTube trainers on the line. And create a, I guess, a false wall. Is it, they call it a false wall? Or put up a wall down here. And yeah, separate off part of the basement here. Then reorganize everything kind of in this space. Once I do that, then I will look to get the rig, get that set up, and drive. Cannot wait. Really looking forward to getting that. Gonna be dope. Where are the weapon ups? Where are the weapon ups? I'ma need some gold melter. None, just a bunch of points. Fine, but there we go. Before now, this round is easier. Without being maxed on the weapon. The next couple zones, however, definitely need something more than the min pea shooter that you start off with. That's why I try to get more of gold melter and ice crusher before actually getting into those zones, but all RNG. All depends on what drops. There are a couple of, I'm going to say special moves, but different options. And there was that little warp that I just did, and bombs. Holy. Felt like a long time to get that free ship. Not breaking any speed records on this run. That is for sure. Doink to doink. Oh, man. All right, so 30%, not great. Not bad. That was a quick reefer. See if I can get this bonus. Could be a problem. A rock melter or rock crusher, ice splitter, rock crusher, pretty much a decent one, like that averages across all the different zones. There'll be ice, rocks, gold. Not sure how that did not kill me. Silly. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Where are we at? Again, not the one I wanted. There we go, finally. As we go through the rounds, it repeats all of these different levels again. Obviously, difficulty just goes up. And as the difficulty goes up, everything just seems to speed right up as far as those obstacles. It just, yeah, it just seems to ramp up quickly. 61's not great, but it'll do. It just slices through everything. Just the best when it's maxed. Look at this. Just mad. You can see why you'd want to have it maxed out. Like coming into the level. Oh, shy of that.
Gold melter activated. Bomb splitter activated. Weapon up.
Extra ships are nice, but the shield is better because you don't end up losing. It's like an extra life, but you don't lose your multiplier. Which is key.
some answers for you. There's a lot of rumor and speculation. Is Binance getting ready to list? Did we find the Binance wallet? Take a look at this posted here from Red Panda Mining that highlighted one wallet address that does not have a tag, speculating that is this Binance. Well, I did some digging and I got some answers for you. I figured out whose wallet that potentially is. I'll share that with you towards the end of the video, but I do want to share some important updates. Of course, we're going to take a look at the Casper chart as well. So like the video and let's get started. Now, the markets had a massive pullback, right? Bitcoin down at 90K, Wick down to sub 90K. A lot of these sectors like AI took an absolute dump. Casper held up fairly well at 11.5 cents. And looking at CoinMarketCap today, it is the number 4 gainer on the entire CoinMarketCap top 100 list with a gain of 20% in the last 24 hours, sitting at 13.6 cents. This is a project that we've been talking about on this channel for a while. A lot of people lost faith. A lot of people are sitting there saying the project is dead, the price is not moving. We told you to stay patient. Casper's time will come. If you remember, Casper had a massive run-up while everything else was literally doing nothing, either trending down or sideways. And Casper made an all-time high from a penny to 20 cents, to 20 while everything else was standing still. Now it's time for the other coins to run, and Casper's taking a little bit of a breather. It is in a accumulation phase, and so if you've been accumulating Casper, it'll definitely pay off for you in the very near future. But again, good to see more green for Casper on the days. A green shirt for all the Casper fans. All right, do a quick update on what's happening in the Casper ecosystem. Then we'll get into the wallet address and the chart on the very end. We took out a very important level on the chart. I'll show you in a second. Now, testnet 11 at 10 blocks per second continues to prove its strength. Pools who have completed their testing, such as Humpool and Hero Miners, have confirmed that their solution is working and running stable in testnet 11. While others are testing, Casper devs are looking for more apps, wallets, and exchanges to take 10 blocks per second for a test spin before the imminent crescendo hard fork. See the link to the instructions in the thread. This is going to be revolutionary. No other proof of work coin, once crescendo goes live, even now some argument, there's no proof of work coin that has the capabilities that Casper has and will have once we hit 10 blocks per second. You want to talk about scalability? It's got it. You want to talk about security? It's got it. You want to talk about decentralization? It has that as well. So excited to see what new opportunities are knocking at the door once we do get this 10 blocks per second. We know the team is working hard. Also want to share this as well. Let's just get into this whole Binance thing, okay? There's a lot of speculation. I made a video last year saying Binance was going to list. And they were going to list. I don't know what happened, but something went wrong. What you guys got to remember is these exchanges will essentially list almost anyone who's willing to give them money. There's a fee that projects pay on top of providing liquidity for an exchange to list their project. Now you have some exchanges like Coinbase, like Kraken, that are regulated here in the US that have to be a little more picky due to the SEC. But some of the overseas exchanges, they'll just list whoever gives them money. I'm not saying Binance does this, but that's just the reality. So when you have a project like Casper who does not pay for listing, there really is no incentive for an exchange to list your project, unless the volume is so high that they feel like we'll take the L on the 5 mil that we would have gotten from any other project, so we know we'll make that back in the first 3 months based off of trading volume and acquiring new users. That is where we're getting to at with Casper. Bitcoin didn't have anyone pay for listings. I don't think Ethereum had anyone to pay for listings either. It just naturally happened, but it took a little bit of time, especially for those projects, again, that don't pay for listings. So all I say is be patient. At the end of the day, as Casper continues to do what it does, and the community continues to do what it does, and the volume
why would they list
really
at this point?
And that's the end of the day.
When there's a fork coming,
the token gets on the exchange. Might take a little more time than what you want, but hey, it's just the name of the game.
Let
so,
everybody else deal with all the
posted this
bugs
on X.
is what I would say.
The announcement of Casper on Binance is as close as ever. Both of the below posts have been made since 7 p.m. yesterday, and he says they're both hinting of Casper. So the first post is this one that he's talking about. Talking about what is the blockchain trilemma and explaining it. So a lot of the Casper faithful are like, hey, we saw the trilemma. They're talking about us. The other post was made today, January 13th, well, yesterday, and it was about block time. And so talking about, hey, look, we're close to 10 blocks per second. Could they be potentially hinting at this? Again, a lot of people are speculating that, hey, this is Binance kind of dropping hints as to we are going to list. I try not to read too much into this. I try to reach out to my resources and get confirmation. I personally have not gotten any confirmation that they're going to get a listing on Binance, but at the end of the day, you just never know. So, can we get a Binance listing tomorrow, next week, next month? Sure. Am I banking on it right now? I don't know. We know that futures is available on Binance. We know it got listed on Kraken. It's only a matter of time. So for me, because Casper is in my long-term bucket, I don't stress about things like this. I recommend you do the same. It's going to happen. When will it happen? Who knows? At the end of the day, we're going to keep stacking. We're going to keep setting Casper aside because we know what the future holds for Casper and how amazing it is. And then this one was from Travlad. Okay, I'm not one to conspire, but yesterday you explained the blockchain trilemma. Today you're talking about major tech revolutions. Casper ticks the box. And again, noting it is already on futures. Now, there is one wallet address that I shared in the beginning that Red Panda Mining highlighted as, hey, is this the Casper wallet? Or is this the Binance wallet? This one right here. You can see Gate.io has a tag, Mexi, Uphold, BitGet. A lot of these exchanges will have tags on their wallets. Now this one has been accumulating a lot of Caspa over the last few months. If you click on this, you can see the balance history has been going up, and they've really been buying. Their January 1st, their balance was 419 million Caspa, and as of today, it is sitting at 444 million. Now, what I did was, I'm like, all right, this wallet received a lot of Caspa. Where did this come from? So I'm on here, as you can see, on the wallet that people think is Binance. Click on this one, and we take a look. The sender was Gate.io, and it sent it in 3 chunks. Send it to another Gate address, and then 2 addresses that are not tagged. Okay, so I was like, all right, is this a trend that I'm going to see? So I'm going to go back and click on the next one. And this one is a Bybit wallet. A Bybit wallet sent to another Bybit wallet and 2 untagged wallets. But the majority went to an untagged wallet, which I couldn't find where that one was coming from. And so I'm not going to go through every one of these transactions, but this was essentially all of these originated either from a Gate.io wallet or a Bybit wallet. Now, we know what we saw back in 2022 when FTX went under. We found out that a lot of these exchanges lend and borrow coins to and from each other. So if someone, Binance is short on X amount of tokens because they have a lot of withdrawals, they'll hit up Gate.io and say, hey, let us borrow 500 million Ethereum or 5 million Ethereum tokens. We're falling short and we'll pay you back once we buy it. Okay, cool. So this happens in the space all the time. I personally am not seeing anything as far as Binance been accumulating. But again, with some of these tagged wallets, untagged wallets, be Binance, could they have multiple? Absolutely, you just can't write it off. But if I'm sitting here and logically thinking right now, is Binance accumulating Caspa? Nothing on chain at least shows that they are, and nothing from the people that I've spoken to are saying anything about Binance listing Caspa. But again, I'm going to reiterate, it will happen. It's just, I don't know if it's going to happen this month. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It's going to be good for my back. Now, I did mention Caspa on the charts. Let's take a look. Caspa on the daily. I do have the price action concepts pulled up. We just crushed the previous week high. As you can see here, this yellow line. We crushed it in literally one candle. This was, by the way, a 17% daily candle. And the good thing here too, guys, is it happened on volume. That's what you want to see. You want to see big price movement on volume. We take a look at our liquidity flow index. We are still right on the money flow,
so
but
now
our sentiment, our sentiment indicator moved past our midline.
When I need it,
and the last
later
time this
rounds,
happened,
not gonna.
Back that
Cool.
the last time this happened was here on November 9th. Let's take a look what happened November 9th. Here's your November 9th candle, and we went up around 35%. I'm not even counting the candle. I'm just counting the close of the candle. So I'm not even going to take the candle that it crossed on in reference. We're going to take the top end of the candle to the top end of this wick here. 33% rise for Caspa. I'm not saying this is going to happen now, but hey, history does tend to rhyme. Also, an important area we're going to get to up here, which is going to be our volume order block, which around 35% of the volume for Caspa happened right between 14 cents and 15 cents. We do have a little more buyers than sellers. I'm going to drop off our price action concepts, and I'm going to throw on our volume profile to see where we're getting a lot of volume. You can see here tons of volume at this 11.6 cent level, and you can see just absolutely congruent with what we've seen from traders and speculators that have been buying Caspa is they've been buying this 11 cent region. More recently, when you saw 11.4 cents go all the way up to 13 cents, and of course today we did see a wick low yesterday to 10.8 cents. We've reclaimed that plus more. We've taken out the previous high, which was 12.8 cents. Now we still have around 5 hours and 11 minutes left on this candle. If we can close above, the next target we're really aiming for, you guys, is around 16.48 cents. So things looking good for Caspa on the chart. I checked yesterday. We are still in our Caspa trade that we put in a few videos ago, and so we'll keep you updated on that when we decide to take profit. Also, if you enjoy Caspa, go watch our Caspa playlist that we have on the channel. Also, come check out our live show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you next one. Peace.
Stretching will not make you flexible, and it will not eliminate your recurring.
Against Hegseth.
Yes or no? Did you need an audit? Yes or no? What are you afraid of? You can't answer this question.
Commanders do not have to have a quota for women in the infantry. That does not exist.
Those were false charges. Well, it was fully investigated, and I was completely clear.
They made him look good today. It's difficult for a Republican to vote against Hegseth.
Interesting.
In this video today, Pete Hegseth dominates his confirmation hearing. Elizabeth Warren makes a fool of herself, and the Democrats are left scrambling. So where we're going to start first is Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth, who accused Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian asset, presses Pete Hegseth on the idea that he has no experience in making sure that the DOD will be able to pass audits, which they haven't been able to do in the last 7, as we know. But let's go ahead and take a look.
Please describe to me a time or an organization when you led underwent an audit. Did you say you're going to hire smarter people than you to run this audit? I'm not asking you to be an accountant. I want you to be able to tell me what kind of guidance will be given to those employees, what will happen if whether or not you pass that audit. Have you led an audit of any organization? Yes or no? I don't want a long answer. Yes or no? Have you led an audit of any organization of which you were in charge?
Senator, in both of the organizations I ran, we were always completely fiscally responsible.
Yes or no? Did you lead an audit?
And the way
yes or no? Did you lead an audit? Yes or no? What are you afraid of? You can't answer this question. Yes or no? Did you lead an audit? Do you not know this answer?
Senator, every part of my leadership of these organizations has been misrepresented.
I will take that as a no. What were the findings? So there were no findings because you've never led an audit. What guidance did you give the auditors? None, because you've never led an audit. Nobody expects you to be an accountant, Mr. Hegseth. What we expect is for you to understand the complexity of this Pentagon budget process that is absolutely necessary to outfit our warfighter.
I find it very interesting that they're so pressed about
never pass an audit.
The Department of Defense, but they haven't held anybody accountable for the 7 failed audits. Where was Secretary Lloyd Austin's hearing condemning his inability to pass an audit? There's no record of that. And in fact, the only record we have of him even having to answer to the committee is when he went AWOL for 1 week. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So clearly what you guys are going to see throughout this video is really 2 main issues, because this is really a smaller one. What is Pete Hegseth's stance about women in the military, specifically combat roles? And then what about his infidelity in some of his prior marriages? That's where they really want to focus on it. And I'll tell you just straight up, that's where they both failed in. That's where the Democrats failed in and actually blew back in their face, because he was just too confident, calm, and collected. And a great example of that is his exchange with Elizabeth Warren, Ms. Pocahontas. Watch this.
Now, Mr. Hegseth, you have written that after they retire, generals should be banned from working for the defense industry for 10 years. You and I agree on the corrosive effects of the revolving door between the Pentagon and defense contractors. It's something I would have liked to talk with you about if you'd come and been willing to visit with me. But the question I have for you on this is, will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about, because it's not
about it right now.
It's not one. My motivation for this job.
I understand that. I just need a yes or no here. Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy would be.
In other words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. So you're saying sauce for the goose, but certainly not sauce for the gander?
I would want to see what the policy would be.
Oh, I'll bet you would.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
Now, the main issue that she is trying to press Pete Hegseth on is this common habit of generals that have served in the military reach the appointment of Secretary of Defense and then obviously left that appointment and work at these defense contractors, or vice versa. For example, Secretary Lloyd Austin right now used to work at Raytheon. In fact, he was on the board of directors, and then he left that to serve as Secretary of Defense. So is there some level of conflict of interest? Definitely that's a worthy conversation to have. There's no doubt about that. And Pete Hegseth's position technically has been that he doesn't like it. Now, Congresswoman Luna brought this point up. She said, Senator Warren, the real question here is what changed between 1986 and today when you lied about being an American Indian? And as you guys can see, here's the actual receipt showing the words American Indian that Elizabeth Warren wrote. I'm not going to show this other information because it's irrelevant. But the point being is what? She tried to get Pete Hegseth on the idea that he flip-flopped when it came to women serving in the military. His concern, just like many other veterans, including myself, if you've ever served in the infantry, you do not want women serving in combat roles. Why is that? Because then the standards have to be lowered because physically they're not the same. Okay, in order for a woman to pick up a 50 cal, okay, and march with it or hike with it for a certain distance, there's no way she'll outlast a man. It just isn't possible. It's not the way the bodies are built. But what they do is they take that statement out of context and they turn it into, well, Pete Hegseth doesn't want any women in the military. No, that's not true whatsoever. Now, speaking about women in the military, here is another congresswoman who went berserk on him about it. Watch this.
Well, Senator, I appreciate your comments. And I would point out, I've never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lowered, and you mentioned 11 Alpha, 11 Bravo, MOS, places in units, and the book that has been referenced multiple times here, The War on Warriors. I spent months talking to active duty service members, men and women, low ranks, high ranks, combat arms and not combat arms. And what each and every one of them told me, and which personal instances have shown me, is that in ways direct, indirect, overt, and subtle, standards have been changed inside infantry training units, ranger school, infantry battalions to ensure that
Give me one example. Please give me an example. I get you're making these generalized
meet
statements.
quotas to have a certain number of female infantry officers or infantry enlisted, and that disparages those women.
Commanders do not have to meet quotas for the infantry. Commanders do not have to have a quota for women in the infantry. That does not exist. It does not exist.
Now, before I actually fact check some of the other stupid claims that she made, let me just say this. There's absolute quotas. There's no question about it. There's a quota for how many people they need to serve in the military. Okay, there's a quota for how many officers are needed. How do you know there is a quota? Because every single unit in the military has to be manned by a certain number of individuals. So there is a quota. And the question is, are we meeting it? And you can't meet it if people don't want to join the military. They don't want to join the military because the standards have been lowered over time. And it's become more woke, more political. That's the main reason why I'm not in the military anymore. I saw it on the wall. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw it coming. There are certain conversations I had with leaders that were more political and more about moving me through the ranks because of my skin color and not because of my merit. When I started having those conversations, I knew this isn't for me anymore because that's just not in my values. So I'm not going to be the leader you need me to be if I'm only in this position because of my skin color. It just isn't going to happen. So, of course, this account here called Bow-Tied Ranger, which is an individual I follow here, and he talks about his experience as a ranger and in special forces. He wrote this: "No one really talks about how much of a disaster it was to send the first females through ranger school. None of them could pass patrols. They all struggled with peer evaluations. Many of them failed peer reviews in at least one phase, and all of them recycled multiple times before generals start flying in to observe." Now, let me explain something to you. Anybody that goes to ranger school and has passed it will tell you, and I'm just going to make this very simple. If 100 people start at day one in ranger school, the ratio is like 3, max 5 will be there in the end. I mean, that's how many people drop out. It's that physically demanding, mentally demanding, spiritually demanding, emotional. It really pushes you to the limits. And so to think that women could actually go in there and meet the same standards as men, that is you living on another planet. This is not physically possible. But it took these politicians to come in and start modifying the standards in order to accommodate women in ranger school, which is what he goes on to say here. The standards had to be bent so far to fit the diversity goals they broke. This whole project has been a fake from the start, as fake as pretending men can be women. Now, as another example or another exhibit to prove my point here, you're looking at the Army Physical Fitness scoring scale for the 2-mile run. You gotta run 2 miles in a certain amount of time. Well, as you guys can tell, there's a male column and a female column. Well, why is that? Because the standards are different because of biology. Now, if you want to get 100 points, and you're my age, which is 36, you gotta run 15 minutes and 18 seconds as a female to get 100. But if you were a male, you needed to run 13 minutes and 42 seconds. There's almost a 2-minute difference there. Now, why would we do that? Why? Yeah. Because clearly there's a difference in the biology. I don't even know why I even have to explain this to people, but this is what happens when woke politicians get into the military trying to change things because they're trying to serve this whole social justice movement. I served 13 years in the Army. I never met one female who wanted to be in the infantry. Not one.
So you cannot denigrate women in general, and your statements do that. We don't want women in the military, especially in combat. What a terrible statement. So please, do not deny that you made those statements. You have. We take the responsibility of standards very seriously, and we will work with you. I'm equally distressed. You would not meet with me before this hearing. We could have covered all of this before you came here, so I could get to the 15 other questions that I want to get to. So women, you have denigrated. You have also denigrated members of the LGBTQ community. Did you know that when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was in place, we lost so many crucial personnel, over 1,000 in mission-critical areas. We lost 10% of all our foreign language speakers because of a political policy. You said in your statement, you don't want politics in the DOD. Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal. I mean, you're basically saying women, after they have children, can't ever serve in the military in a combat role. It's a silly thing to say.
No, the silly thing here is how we made young people believe that being patriotic about your country makes you some right-wing extremist. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, he didn't need to meet with any Democrats because he doesn't need any of your votes. There's a Republican majority in the Senate. So to throw that in his face is a waste of time. And thirdly, once again, they try to take his comments out of context, okay? I am of the same belief that he has. I don't believe women should be serving in combat roles either. But they should be in the military. There's no question about that. And they could be moms. They could be whatever they want. That's fine. Now, let me take it to this next part. We're at the point where they want to get into Pete Hegseth's infidelity. They want to bring all that up because they think due to his infidelity, that means he is not qualified to be Secretary of Defense, which we all know. Majority of people even questioning him today probably cheated on their significant other, which another congressman has to point out, and I'll show you that clip as well. But let's go to Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's vice presidential running mate, and his nonsense. Watch.
At that time, you were still married to your second wife, correct? I believe so. And you had just fathered a child by a woman who would later become your third wife, correct?
Senator, I was falsely charged, fully investigated, and completely cleared.
So you think you were completely cleared because you committed no crime? That's your definition of cleared? You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife. I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared. Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you were completely cleared? How is that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges.
Well,
It was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I'm so grateful for the marriage I have to this.
Now, if we want to play the same game that Tim Kaine is playing here, let's do that, because Colin Rugg on X put this up. During Pete Hegseth's Senate confirmation hearing today, Senator Tim Kaine shared his moral outrage over Hegseth's previous relationship. He suggested he wouldn't vote for Hegseth's confirmation because of his infidelity. Just 6 months ago, Kaine filmed a giddy video with second gentleman Doug Imhoff. Imhoff cheated on his first wife by getting his children's nanny pregnant. He also accused of smacking one of his previous girlfriends in the face. And here's that video, as you guys can see. Now, let's not be naive here. The people that Trump has nominated, these are not saints, okay? This isn't your role model, okay? These are disruptors. These are people who are the opposite of the status quo. I respect every single person to have some level of dirt in their past that they will bring up during the confirmation hearing. I expect that. Just like Trump has dirt in his past as well, but just like anybody else who's questioning these individuals.
How is that possible?
We could dig further up on them too. And I'm not the only one to bring this point up. And so here is Congressman Mullen, who echoes exactly what I just said and throws this entire moral argument out the window by calling out his colleagues over their potential infidelities. Watch.
And then Senator Kaine, or well, I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because a man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it's so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what we witnessed during the election cycle, where Democrats were acting as if
Big
they had the moral
plank
high
in your
ground, that they could do
eye.
no
What does that
wrong,
mean?
that they know exactly what right looks like, and they are a shining example of that. But then come to find out, when you peel it all back, they're just as corrupt, dirty, if not more corrupt than the people they were going after, particularly Trump. There's no question about that. Now, my biggest takeaway so far from watching the entire hearing was just how calm, collective, confident Pete Hegseth was. He was not rattled. He did not get emotional. He knew how to dodge certain questions, okay? And he performed as great as you would want someone to
Last
perform.
one. Last
Especially when
one.
they're asking to be the Secretary of Defense.
For tonight.
And the other person who brought this point up was Scott Jennings on CNN. Here's what he said.
Well, in short, I think Pete Hegseth kicked their asses today. I mean, it wasn't even close. They didn't lay a glove on Hegseth. No mistakes, calm, cool, collected. I mean, before the thing even started, you had this like Code Pink, protester freak show trying to disrupt the hearing. That's a Democratic base, by the way, which probably explains why the Democrats on the committee acted in such a bizarre and unprofessional way. I was appalled at some of the way these senators handled themselves and some of the lines of questioning. I mean, Tim Kaine sounded like a sex pervert in his questioning of Pete Hegseth. Blumenthal, who lied about his service in Vietnam, questioning Hegseth's qualifications. You had Gillibrand, you had Warren, you had Hirono going on unhinged rants about things. Angus King obviously doesn't understand what it's like to fight terrorism. On and on and on. Hegseth was cool in the face of this unhinged questioning. They made him look good today. It would be difficult for a Republican to vote against Hegseth after the Democrats' unseemly mudslinging today.
And maybe the best analogy here is that they underestimated Pete Hegseth and thought that he would come unprepared because they're buying into the lies from the media, or maybe they knew he was going to do well this entire time and they were hoping to get him on something. Regardless, like I stated already, he did exactly what you would want someone to do. And the Democrats, on the other hand, they didn't do what they wanted to do, which is exactly what Karen Finney had to say. Watch.
Look, overall, though, clearly Hegseth was well prepared, and it was clear Democrats recognized that given that there was some clearly concern that he wouldn't be able to handle more than one round of questioning, they were clearly trying to get certain things on the record. Personally, I would have, the comms person in me would have framed it differently. I would have talked about a number of these issues, both based on his writings, which at one point they were trying to do that. That was part of the strategy, but really in the context of the modern military, because the reality is, as military leaders will tell you, climate change is a national security concern. It's real.
Oh my God.
It is a threat to our forces. It is a threat to our bases. It is a threat to our readiness. So I would have framed some of these questions more in the context of the current challenges the modern military faces. It is a diverse force, which is part of why diversity matters.
The biggest threat to the military so far that has actually had a damaging effect on the military in real time has been the DEI woke policies, not climate change, okay? And another example of that would be the vaccine mandates, how many members were kicked out because of that. So when you're talking about what is the biggest dangers to the military, it's the danger from within.
Boom.
The politics, the social justice movements that obviously impact readiness, morale, and hinders recruiting. So I don't know why libs have to inject climate change into every single thing that's wrong with our country. It's not always climate change, people, okay? And I'm not surprised she said that because even the outgoing president of the United States said that. Why?
I know.
Selling. People pay me $100 grand a day to consult for them, and they come to my offices. They always want to like, Russell, my funnel's not working. What's wrong? And it's always one of three things: either the hook, the story, or the offer. Every time. And there's a $100,000 consulting tip. Just look at every step inside your process, and if it's not working, it's always either the hook, story, offer. If you think about it, your dream customer is typically you 5 years ago. Who would I go and I would work for free because I want to hang out with these people, I would enjoy serving them, these are my dream customers. Now what would I create that they would be excited about? When I first got started, I did what a lot of entrepreneurs do, where you have an idea for a product, so you create the product and then you put it out there and either nobody buys it because you weren't thinking about a customer, or people buy it but then they're the wrong customer.
For years I thought it was the product or the advertising or the marketing or something. There wasn't any of those things at all. The truth is, though,
Of
it was my
course.
ability to sell. On January 28th, I'm hosting the Selling Online event. I'm going to teach you everything I learned that changed everything for me. In just 3 days, you can learn how to sell online, how to take things you're interested in and turn them into an offer, and how to take your business to the next level. Do not miss it. I've done this event a couple times in the past, and people go
Some incoming administration, some in the incoming administration, are skeptical about the need for clean energy. They don't even believe climate change is real. They think they come from a different century. They're wrong. They are dead wrong. It's the single greatest existential threat to humanity.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it. It's more dangerous than nuclear war, more dangerous than China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia all put together, more dangerous than woke DEI policies, more dangerous than plagues and vaccines that leak out of labs. Got it. All of those things are less dangerous than climate change. Okay. So that's how libs feel. I disagree, and I'm sure you do too. But this takes me to the question at hand that I'd love you guys to answer in the comment section below. Do you believe Pete Hegseth should be nominated on January 20th, right when Trump gets sworn into office? Should they go ahead, vote on it, and get him nominated that quickly? Or do you believe some of these allegations that they threw at him during the confirmation hearing should warrant some consideration and maybe rethink this nomination as a whole? I'm all the way in with Pete Hegseth, just as you guys know. I don't want a career politician. I don't want a general. I want an outsider. He has clear military experience. He's been deployed multiple times. Let's go ahead and get this done, right? That's what my answer is, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, one of the biggest stories from yesterday was the fact that Congress has to consider how they are going to pass disaster aid for California and those wildfires. And Speaker Mike Johnson made some waves when he said that it has to be packaged with conditions. This has caused a huge fallout with the left, and we did a video reacting to all of that. So if you guys want to check it out and more stories from yesterday, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.
I'm here to sell you something in a way that we think is cool.
But what's cool to you is being unapologetically you.
How is somebody already done?
Terms. Because in this online casino, you play you.
Card already crossed the finish. That is nuts. That is just nuts. Who do we have on here? We've got some Twitchers. What's up, everybody? welcome to the stream. Although, going to the end of the stream, started off with some Super Stardust tonight because I didn't know what to play tonight. Unscheduled. For those of you new to this, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings. Today is special just because I didn't make it yesterday due to a hospital visit. Good times, good times. So yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I will be on the next couple days. Make up for it. That's just the kind of guy I am. Of course he disappears. Of course he took a dive. Haha. And yet still somehow managed to only be 4th. What? What? I don't understand this, man. Are there tips or tricks similar to Fall Guys that I don't know about? Shortcuts? Frickin' wasabi. Oh, wasabi just makes me want some sushi. Or don't turn, I guess. That makes sense too. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Can I just skip all this? Sure, why not just... So sad, so sad. Aw, me so sad. But getting close to the end, I believe this is the final. It's the final countdown. Oh, that was the final. Well, ain't that a kick in the pants? I thought there was one more. But where did I end up? 6th overall. Gotta be some tips. Gotta be some hacks or something that that can be done out of that. Whew. That's a bunch of cans. 6. Looks like I will get the next level next time around. Folks, that is it for me this evening. off schedule stream, I should say. I tried. Maybe I need to do more of this, more fast penguins. Have some stuff going on in the background, like Devori Darkins, Aspatalk. I don't know, something. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. But do catch me. Hit that follow button. Hit that sub button. Be sure to stay updated as to when I'm going to be going on. Hit me up on X, Gamer80 there, where I will post that I will be streaming. And that wraps things up. One and all, thanks for showing up. I get a chat right at the end of the stream, which is just perfect timing. What is up? Ninja? Still an empty chat. Yes, it is an empty chat. You're the only one that enjoys messaging. So it is what it is. But maybe tomorrow will be different. Who knows? Tune in about 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time. I will be back, likely playing some more Fast Penguins. Ninja, thanks for showing up. Thanks for messaging. You did. Oh man, I didn't even pay. I don't even pay attention to the names. I apologize. But you know what? I will try and catch you in game rather tomorrow. That being said, though, I'm out for tonight. This is ISG80 come to you from glorious Shadfield. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, a lot of love. And on top 6 now, dope. Keep on moving up that leaderboard. Oh my god. Up the ladder, up the leaderboard. I gotta go. I'm too tired to be talking. So that's it. I'm out. Peace.